Got 8. Did you get positive or negative 8/3?
Negative 8/3.
That is correct.
All
What are the
right.
units, ladies and gentlemen?
Sorry, degrees Celsius over minutes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So how you do this is H
You listen.
prime of 3.5.
The illegal, arrogant attitude that you have right now, we are going to flame you.
Especially if you want before Monday, I would recommend getting rid of that.
All right. We have H of 5 minus H of 2 over 5 minus 2, which is 52 minus 60, which is negative 8 over 3 degrees Celsius per
Give me your
minute.
college board login. I'll log in for you.
Yeah, I'm not going to know my grades. What if I passed or not?
Will you still have a phone? No.
You're going to give me your
Depends
login
on
and I'm
how
going to
good
send
my
you a
drill
letter.
sergeants are. If I'm lucky, they'll give it.
Can we mail you a letter?
You can, but if
All right, we'll mail Alex a letter with everybody's AP score, with all his AP scores.
For like an hour
Yeah,
on
she's right.
Sunday.
You should really log in. Well, I can get all your scores. We can mail him a letter, and I can get all his scores because I can see his scores for all his classes. All right, number 2, because they email them to all of us too. And I still think I can see your score. Like I click your name, and then I can like see your stuff.
Is there a way that I can get rid of that 2 in stats?
I don't think you have to send it. Somebody told me.
I mean, that don't matter.
It doesn't
Okay,
matter
let
if you
R
send it
be
to
the
them.
region in the first quadrant enclosed by the graphs 8x cubed and g of x equals sine of pi x as shown in the figure to the right. Well, it says find the area of region R. So what is area? What are we going to do?
An integral from 0 to 1 of top minus bottom. Which is
1/2.
That's 1/2, not 1.
Oh yeah, that's 1/2.
Of top minus bottom.
Which is
Exactly.
f of x minus g of x dx.
No, it's g of x minus f of x because it's sine.
I knew the sine function was on top. I just wrote them backwards.
Corey, what's your smart ass comment?
Please, what is your attitude? Jeez.
Blaze, I can't wait for you to get your calc score back or just open the
Guys, you're being so angry today. All right. So we have the integral from 0 to 1/2 of sine pi x minus 8x cubed.
Just walked in.
All right. What is the antiderivative of sine pi x? This is a what type of problem?
U sub.
No, it's a u sub.
And it would be u
So
is
u-
pi x, du is pi. So you pull out 1 over pi.
Good.
Cosine of u.
So it's 1 over pi, the integral from 0 to 1/2 of sine u du minus, and honestly, I like to bring out the 8x cubed dx from 0 to 1/2. Now, you have to remember that if
So you
you,
don't have to use them
because the
twice.
u sub, if you change this to u, you either have to put your u back in after you antiderive sine or change your bounds. And this is a free response. It's not like you can get lucky with a multiple choice.
I'm not changing my bounds.
I don't know how to. There it is. I need to move up.
You just do 1/2 pi and 0.
Yeah, I haven't changed bounds.
Okay. So. What's the it's so hostile. What's the antiderivative of
Well,
sine u?
Put me on
Negative
campaign.
cosine. So it's negative
Cosine.
cosine u, but I'm bringing back the pi x since I didn't change my bounds from 1/2 to 0. What? Minus 8. What's the antiderivative of x cubed?
X to the 4th over 4th.
Yep, so what's nice about the 4 and the 4 is 8 divided by 4 is
2.
absolute value. All right, now plug in your 1/2 and your 0. So you have negative 1 over pi cosine pi halves minus a minus, so a positive 1 over pi cosine of 0 minus 2 1/2 to the 4th minus 0.
You know what? This is a lot of work. I'm glad.
It's a free response. Yes, it's a lot of work. Okay, what is cosine of pi halves? Okay, so this is cosine of 0. So it's 1 over
Wouldn't
pi.
it be minus?
No.
Minus cosine of 0?
Negative cosine minus 1.
Oh, okay. I was just thinking that she would do cos of pi halves minus cos of 0.
Well,
She just canceled on it.
yeah.
I distributed my negative 1 over pi first. All right. 1 to the 4th is 1. 2 to the 4th is 16. So then 2 over 16 is
20.
so minus 20.
Plus 1.
Minus
You
1.
separated your things. Why is it minus when you separated them?
It's 100% minus. What do you mean?
Why is it minus when you separated? Oh, because never
It
mind.
was minus 8x cubed. Okay. I was like, it's
I just texted Des. Wait till you watch the video.
Reincarnated.
read the next question.
Peacock.
They really are my favorite animal, though. That's why there's feathers back there.
Are they mean?
No, I've touched them.
I thought they were really mean.
Stop! I'm literally talking about a bird.
Okay.
Sorry.
They're all over like the Dominican Republic, so like they just come up to your balcony and like sit and chill.
Yeah.
For a hot second, I read the back of your shirt and I thought it did not say shirt. I thought it said.
That's the caffeine.
What's the back of my shirt say?
I did 60 push-ups for this shirt, and I thought it said.
Well, you just can't read.
I forgot about this. This was like for some army, something or another. Some guy was sitting up
Well,
there.
then I kind of started judging you, and now I feel bad. So, like,
So she cares.
or that
She's
shirt.
judging.
Yeah, I would have a Charters Houston shirt with a bad word on it.
Makes sense.
All my shirts for Charters Houston are football because they're the only team that gives us t-shirts.
It's the only team that has the money to give people tickets.
Actually, there was a whole thing. Apparently, Robbie Ward's dad, like, spent their entire thing on Robbie Ward's senior year, right?
Okay, I don't know.
That's what I heard. That was the rumor.
Dave's just like,
That was the rumor I heard, and then the next board that took over had like 0 money.
Well, considering his parents weren't even on the football board, I'm not sure how they did that. So,
That is the rumor.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I know, he's saying they spent it on their senior banquet.
yeah.
That was
But
the
if
rumor
it's
that I
their
heard.
money.
Yeah, that's pretty much what every year does. Though.
Yeah.
That's what you do for
I don't blame him. I mean, I'm
The
a
boosters has
But
to
I mean,
earn their money
for
each year.
Robbie's
We
parents,
spend,
they weren't
our
on the
boosters but our boosters for lacrosse, we take down to like, it's pretty even what we bring in versus what we spend. You pretty much like start and end with the same balance.
I just heard.
All right, the continuous function.
Did you know he's a hometown hero? He's a volunteer fireman. Way to disrespect your hometown hero.
Stop! The continuous function F. Alex is doing this. Go.
I'm trying.
We have 40 minutes until I never see you again
Actually,
before your
you
AP
have 23
exam.
you have 23 minutes with them at least, not me. I'll be here. They leave at 9:30.
See? Let's go. We have 23 minutes. The continuous function F. Continuous function F is defined on the interval -4 to 3. The graph of F consists of 2 quarter circles on one line segment in the figure shown below. Let g of x equal 2x plus the integral blah, 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 blah. Find g of -3. What theorem is this?
Fundamental count.
Fundamental. Thank you. G of -3 is thus what then?
G of -3 is 2x minus the integral. 2 times -3 minus the integral from -3 to 0.
I don't think
It's back, it's back, it's back.
I got a really weird answer for G of -3. Bottom of the page.
All right. So we have 2x plus the integral from 0 to -3 of f of t dt. I do not like my bounds to be backwards, so I'd probably flip it and change it to a minus. And then again, every x is going to be a -3. So it's 2 -3 minus the integral from -3 to 0 of f of t dt, which means I need the area under the curve from -3 to 0. So -3 to 0 is a quarter
Oh, I didn't want
of
to
a circle. So it's -6 minus 1/4 pi. The radius in this case is 3. Yep. So
No, the radius is. I thought
3.
it was 1/2, 3 halves. I should have stuck to what I had to begin with.
So it's -6 minus 9 pi fourths.
Get that place?
That is g of negative.
No, he did it. No, he did it.
That
That's
is
what I thought.
g of -3.
Alex, did you get it? I did.
No, because I did 3 halves instead of 3.
Okay, then it says find g prime
Where does it say that?
2.
and evaluate g prime of -3.
2 plus f of
So
x.
g prime of x is the derivative. What's the derivative of 2x?
2
And then the derivative of an integral?
It's just
f of x.
Yep, it's just that function,
would it be f of t or f of x?
f of x, because the upper bound is
2 plus
x
f of
on
3.
the original,
Okay.
so the x gets plugged in.
So
So it's-
yeah, you're right.
So it's 2 plus f of x, then it says g prime of -3,
That's 0.
0, so it's 2.
This is 2.
so it's 2 plus f of -3, which is 2.
Yes, Corey. I got it.
Well, you got that one.
All right, next.
All I wanted to do was go over this.
Yeah, we did that on the last
We
one.
did, that was the weight whatever one. And then let's go to 5 then.
You gotta prove 1 equals 1, baby.
So it says, let f be the function blah, blah, blah. Show that f is continuous at x equals 0. So so continuity is proved by
The limit of
differentiability. So if they're differentiable,
They're continuous.
then they're continuous. So my first thought, but yes, you also need the left and right hand limits because that also starts continuity. This one is saying show that it is continuous. So that means you need the left hand limit. So one option would be to show that they're differentiable and equal to each other. The second option is to show that the limit from the left and the limit from the right equal the same.
And the function equals that number.
And f of 0, is this f? Yeah. F of 0 also equals that number. So then if the limit as x approaches 0 of f of x equals f of 0 equals the same number, therefore it is continuous. So left-hand limit has to equal the right-hand limit. That's the first thing you do for continuity. So in this case, you plug in 0. So the left-hand limit is 1 minus 2 sine x. Well, I wrote the limit, so I can't plug it in yet. So then it's 1 minus 2 sine 0. And then the right-hand limit comes from e to the negative 4x, which is e to the 0, which is, so left-hand limit equals the right-hand limit. Which one do you show you plug into?
Sine x.
Exactly. So you're plugging in, which is also 1. So the left-hand limit equals the right-hand limit, therefore f is continuous at 0.
Let's go.
This was 2 points on the 2011 AP exam.
All right. Please.
Let's go over. We are the 2018 85.
Yes.
Okay. Let me see if I can pull it up on here for you.
I know. At least not till we're already there.
I'm fine with that as long as it gets canceled by like 5 or 6.
Yeah. If we can actually get home earlier, I can, relax for a change.
Unless you get called into IDP.
I'm gonna get called in. I already told them I can't work today. Or they're trying to get me to work Sunday. It was Wednesday.
I don't know what to get my
I
mom.
got paid today though.
Nice. How was that?
Nice. Yes.
Guys, I'm returning back to the grill on Saturday.
Oh.
It's been weeks.
I actually might be going to the grill tonight with the fam for, cause I'm working all this weekend, so I think we're doing Friday night.
Well, it better be more like Friday at 4.
Probably. Knowing my family, probably.
Seinfeld time.
I eat dinner at 5.
2018 FRQ. Which question number was that?
I prefer an early dinner.
5.
Me too, but no one in my family, like my dad doesn't even get off work till 5, so that's
Like when I come home from track, I walk in and everybody's about to eat.
that's nice. That's not
It's
There it
local
is.
house rules, that helps.
yes, it is.
No, I needed like FRQ with answers. So you could see. Because I want you to like kind of grade yourself again.
We're on Jimmy Buffett time.
No, we're playing quiet.
Just
What the heck?
there it is, I see it.
There's no answers.
Wait, we're playing quiet game.
Might be on this one.
I'm hungry. I should eat breakfast.
Question 5.
Yep, that one.
No, that's not ours.
See, that's what's happening. Like, there's so many different problems.
I can change.
No, not like actual change. I mean, like, my mom said, I'm gonna give you money to eat lunch at the concession stand. So I packed my lunch.
See, I do that all the time.
So,
I'm hungry. I'll get
that's what I
something.
know.
I don't have to use the restroom before we get there.
Yeah. I bet. What do you? If you had to guess, what do you think my 2 miles gonna go on?
That one,
12:30. Yes.
I needed that $15.
Yes. third time's a charm.
I'm gonna guess you're gonna be miserable because it's raining. I'm gonna guess 12:45.
All right,
I got
part A. So grade yourself as if it is an AP exam. Let's see what we get.
negative.
Ew.
Wait, you had what?
It was done
How's
at my
it
first
negative?
my brother's graduation.
F of 5 minus
Because
F of
negative
0.
5 times negative 1, Corey.
I need my packet.
Why -1?
It says find the average rate of change. So you're plugging in F of pi. So the cosine of pi is -1.
Son of a gun. That's gonna mess everything up.
E to the x times negative sine x plus cosine x e to the x. E to the sorry.
That's
Is
fine.
E? Oh, I got negative E to how did I mess that up? Probably because I lost my negative somewhere again.
I was parsing knockout.
You don't need a calculator.
You don't need a calculator. Hold on, now I got a question.
I'm ready to answer.
The derivative of cosine is negative, correct?
Negative sine. That's why it's e to the x minus sine x.
First.
Guys really gave me
Times
a
derivatives.
Corey, they have it.
They flipped it. They did second times the first plus.
She owed me money
Like,
from
it's-
McDonald's. and
It doesn't. The order
cake
doesn't
on
matter. It's commutative. They just didn't want the negative to be in the front of their problem. So you should have
Yeah,
negative
positive
e to the x sine
That's
x
so
plus
gross.
e to the x cosine x.
Cash is gross.
Let's go.
Corey, do you have negative e to the x sine x?
Did I cross out so I crossed out the positive one, so it should be negative e to the sine x. It's
Why'd you
negative.
cross?
It's negative.
You wrote a negative.
Yeah, but sine
That's
of
not what I'm
3
doing.
pi negative.
Yes, because it's down below.
God dang it. I had this. I had everything right.
Too bad.
F of pi?
I better get this right, isn't it?
Right.
Yay!
Why is 5 pi
Guess what
4th?
C is?
EBT.
EBT!
For this, I didn't check my endpoints.
Wait, why?
Yeah, you got it wrong,
Why
man.
is 5 pi 4ths one? Because they're not both positive at 5 pi 4ths.
They're both negative. So it's the opposite. A negative divided by a negative is a positive.
Yeah, I never put
And I didn't plug it back in. The actual answer is negative. I just said x equals 5 pi over 4ths, not the absolute minimum value of f.
Did it ask for the value? I have to read it.
It says the value of f.
But it's on the absolute value. Oh, yeah. I just
That's
went.
so
Of
stupid.
F, which is the Y.
Oh, and it's at the interval's 2 pi, not pi, so I did that for pi.
Oh, but I still get answer. I still get 2 points for doing pi over fourth and 5 pi over fourth, though, right?
If you identify them as candidates, yep.
So I got 2
for
points.
that. That's
Oh, so the
So
answer.
you didn't even need all of these.
No, you didn't.
Yes, you do. They're part of your answer with justification. You cannot justify it without checking them.
Okay.
So, and again, this is from what year? 2018. So this is pretty valid. This is a pretty fair rubric to what they would grade now.
Do I miss 2 points then because I don't have pi over 4?
Yes.
Yeah. You get 1 point.
Again, I need to read more in depth.
I better grab this one.
Floppy towels.
Wait,
Oh,
can
I
you
didn't
go-
say it was differentiable and continuous.
I did. Can you go up all the way? I just want to see what pi over 4 is.
Wait, for lobby towels, I have to say it's differentiable and continuous?
Yeah.
Since when?
Yeah, I didn't put
I've
that.
never
Wait,
heard that
hold
on
on.
a test.
Okay, I applied happy
It
towels.
doesn't say differentiable. It just says continuous.
Because G is differentiable, G is continuous. Why do I have to read it?
It says let G be differentiable, blah, blah, blah. The graph of G prime is shown, find the limit, or state that it does not exist. Well, all they're doing is saying because it's differentiable, it's continuous.
You don't need
So
that G is continuous is you proving that they equal each other.
Yeah.
That's not
It's like the continuity comes from proving, like,
So by putting f pi over 2 equals 0 and g pi over 2 equals 0, I gained that point.
No,
yeah,
yeah.
because you,
I thought it had to be the limit as x approaches pi over 2 of f of x equals 0. Limit
yeah,
as x
you need
approaches
two
2
separate
g
limits.
of x equals 0.
This
Why
is
it
the two-
negative?
I forgot to put the limits.
Because it should be sine of pi over 2, e to the pi over 2, plus e to the pi over 2, cosine of pi over 2. Where did I get the negative from?
That's not negative.
Yeah.
Mine's
That's
positive.
negative.
Hold on, f of x is e cosine x, right?
Yeah.
So the derivative of that is
negative
negative
sign.
e to the x sine x.
Got in there, I missed that. And I
And
said
pi
that.
halves is positive sign, so it
The
works.
teacher from Trinity told them
So I got
that
a
there's a
7.
symbol for Loppy towels. That's
Just write LH, please. It's 2 letters.
for, I gotta say, by out.
I don't know what symbol that teacher's teaching, and he's not been the calc teacher for very long, because their old calc teacher was Alyssa Cotton, who left and now works for Oracle. She went and worked for Oracle, and the teacher before that fell and had a brain trauma. So like, she like fell walking. Well, Alyssa left because she had a kid and wanted to work remote, and like was over it. I mean, there have been many days where I'm like, oh man, I wish I was like my husband, could just stay in my PJs. I love like Jeans Week. Like this whole week, knowing what to wear every day is the best thing ever. Like I wish for senior week, prom week, we participated, so I could just follow what they wear every day. Because I hate thinking
You
about
should
what to wear.
do country club next Monday. Anything but a backpack.
There's no
that
anything
day.
on the backpack day. We just had to talk to Mr. Mary.
I
Just printed out the flyers.
All right.
Anything.
that we just had,
Oh,
the one we were just doing. Oh, she cleaned it up. I'm sorry. Says let f be a function that is differentiable. So the minute you see the word differentiable, honestly, guys, I would maybe just go differentiable and then put continuity. Yep. Like, because even if you write it up there, they might see that, and like, if you didn't write it in the problem, but you write it up there and you need it for a justification, they might be like, okay, they know what it implies. So it says the table above gives all the values and its derivatives, blah, blah, blah. The second derivative has the following properties. The second derivative is always positive. If the second derivative is always positive, what does that imply?
Always concave up.
Perfect. So f is concave up. Evaluate the integral from 0 to 1.5.
Which one is it? 6?
yeah.
It doesn't even mention F.
Zero to 1.5, I'd bring my 3 out, so it's f prime of x dx plus the integral from 0 to 1.5 of 4 dx. Reason I broke that into two parts is so that I don't forget that 4 gets an x on it.
The answer 24.
Oh.
So then you get 3f of x, from 1.5 to 0 plus 4x from 1.5 to 0. So then you get 3f of x out of 1.5 comes from the table. So you get -1 minus 3 times f of x at 0, which is -7, plus 4 times 3/2 minus 4 times 0.
Why did you put 4x? It just says 4.
What's the antiderivative of 4?
But I thought since it was a constant, we could bring it out.
The 3 comes out because it's multiplying. The 4 is
Okay.
derivative of 4x is 4.
So why did you split it up?
What?
Why did you split it up?
Where'd you get the 3/2?
1.5?
Yeah.
What do you mean, why did I split it up?
The integral. You broke it up into 3f of x and then 4 of x.
So that I could bring out the 3 and not forget the 4x. To me, it's easier to plug in this way. You don't have to. I said you don't have to. I like to break it up. They also break it up, but that's just me.
So I could have brought out the 3 and then still had a 0, 1.5 of f of x plus 4x.
Yeah, but just know that 3 does not multiply to the 4. It does not become 12x. That's why I separated mine.
Okay.
Because that to me is like this stupid mistake I would make rushing through this. Okay, so correct answer is 24. That was 2 points on the 2202 exam. Part B. Guess what part B is?
Linearization is -5.
Yes. It is a linearization, and no, it is not -5.
Is it -3?
Yes.
Where do the positives and negatives go?
Okay, so it says f of 1.2, right? Equals, and then we're using x is 1, so it's f of 1
Minus or plus?
Plus.
plus f prime of 1
Times 1 minus 1.2.
times x minus 1. So the x is 1.2, so it's 1.2 minus 1. Whatever number you have here is the number you subtract. The number you're evaluating goes in first. Does that help you? Perfect. Because that's the mistake I think you were making. So the number you're evaluating always goes first in the parentheses.
That was my mistake.
Yeah, I got you. That's why we're doing this. Okay? So then you get -4 plus 5 times 0.2, which is -3.
0.2 is 1/5.
And then would this be an,
Okay, so that makes it easy.
it'd be an under approximation, right?
That's what I was going to say. That's the third point on this problem comes from what is the approximation. So it says the approximation is, why do you think it's an under? There's one reason.
Because we used a number lower than 1.2.
It's at the
Because
very,
it's
very
concave up.
beginning because it's,
The graph is concave.
yep, the graph is always concave up. So if the graph is always going to look like this, no matter where you get your approximation of a tangent line, your tangent line will always be below the graph. So then the reason is my approximation is an underestimate because f is concave up always. That's your
So
reasoning.
if it's concave down, it's always an over.
Yes, because if you think about concave down like a frown, your tangent line is always going to be above it on either side of that concavity. Yeah. Good luck at your meet today, my friends.
I'm just gonna leave this calculator here. on the
Plug it in.
side.
Yep, I'll be here Monday morning, right, bright and early. Text me on Teams, whatever you want to bring on Tuesday, and whatever we're lacking, I will try to fill in. So, like, if somebody brings juice, somebody else, like, maybe I'll bring in my pancake griddle. Or if you want me to make my cinnamon roll thing again, I can make the cinnamon rolls. I know, everybody liked the cinnamon rolls, and you didn't, like, it's not hard for me to make, like, what?
I want to ask my mom's friend for this recipe. She made the French toast casserole. It was really good.
No.
I've had
can you-
that. It's
It
good.
was really good.
You know how you were doing? You were.
Find a positive real number R having the property, oh, I have a typo, that there must exist a value C such that C is between 0 and 1/2 and F double prime of C equals R. So I immediately am thinking that's probably an MVT. But it's like MVT weird because it's the second derivative equal to a number, not the first. So now when you set up your MVT, you're not doing it with the original, which is what we always do. You're doing it with the second derivative. So we want like F double prime of C to equal F prime of 0.5 minus F prime of 0 over 0.5 minus 0, which is weird because we almost always do MVT with like the original and the tangent line. So then it says find a positive real number R having the following properties. So what is F of 0.5? It's -6. F of 0, JK, see I already gave up. That's F of 0.5. I need F prime, which is 3 minus 0 over 6. So then I would say that by the mean value theorem, because F is continuous and differentiable, F double prime of C equals 6 on the interval 0 to 0.5. Okay. Oof, part D. Let G be the function defined as the following. The graph of G passes through each of the points x, f of x given in the table above. It passes through, okay? Is it possible that f and g are the same function? Give a reason for your answer. All right, so first thing I'm thinking is we know that f is continuous and differentiable. So first thing I'm going to do is check to see if g is continuous. Because if g isn't continuous, then they can't be the same function. So I am checking g of 0. And then I'm checking the limit as x approaches 0 from the left, because that was the limit, as x approaches 0 from the right of g of x, which equaled g of 0. So this one is also -7. So it is continuous. So then the next thing is that f is differentiable. So g is continuous, we're good. Now we have to check g's differentiability. So we're going to find the left-hand derivative. So the left-hand derivative would be the top. So you get 4x.
I have to write a lot of this.
No, so, well, the limits, yes.
So I can't just set them equal to each other and be done with it.
The definition of continuity is the limits. So I'll just write the limits for the AP test. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like even like this, like how I wrote left-hand derivative, like I'm writing it to be cautious. Like I want them to know that that's the left-hand derivative. The other way of writing like the left-hand derivative is saying that the limit as x approaches 0 from the left of g prime of x. So if you don't want to write the words for left-hand derivative, it's the limit as x approaches 0 from the left of g prime of x. And then in this case, well, I'll just go this way. It's -1, and then g prime of x for the right-hand derivative would be the limit as x approaches 0 from the right of g prime of x, which is going to equal 4x plus 1, which equals 1. So the left-hand derivative does not equal the right-hand derivative. Therefore, it's not differentiable. So therefore, g of x is not differentiable at x equals 0, and therefore cannot be f of x. My other thought, which we did the continuity and differentiability, would have been to find the first and second derivatives to see if the second derivative is always positive, because we know that the second derivative of f is always positive. But in this case, I'm pretty sure it will be because both are going to be 4s. So 4 is positive. However, again, the second derivative wouldn't exist at 0. So, and I believe, what was part C? We got 6.
Yeah.
So this, we found in part C that the second derivative was equal to 6. So in part D, if you said that g double prime of x is always equal to 4, but we showed that f double prime of x was equal to 6, you could also say that like the second derivatives don't equal each other, therefore they can't be the same function. So big idea is that no, g and f aren't the same, and there are kind of a few ways to get to that. This one had a really low score. This AP question had an average of 2.3. Yeah. Where I feel like you guys could definitely earn more than that.